We welcome you here tonight. And in case you think the Preservation Society doesn't do anything, we've had Sam Waterston, we've had Christine Baranski, we've had thousands of people on the Elms for the finale episode of season 4, and now coaching. And we're so bored. Because we won't have another opportunity to thank people. My job tonight is to do so. And the one point that I really want to make is that coaching is not an event. It is a spectacle. And it is a really special spectacle. And I hope after hearing our 5 speakers tonight, you will appreciate the kind of work and the history of this spectacle. And the fact that we in Newport are so lucky to have the Whips come to Newport and spend 3.5 days with us. So with that, thanking all the Whips. I don't know how many of you are here, but I suspect that Brian is going to point you out later. Thank you to the Coaching Club of America, celebrating the 150th anniversary of the club. Thank you to Tucker Johnson, who is the president of the Coaching Club. Thank you to Walter Ayers, the chair of coaching. Thank you to the Friends of Coaching, many of people who have contributed to helping us pay for hay and water and other ways to accommodate the horses. Thank you to Beverly Little, who is in the audience, who's the chair of the Coaching Weekend Dinner Dance and has done more work. And Beverly, you've got to stand up because you deserve an applause. Has done so much work. And by the way, all of these people are volunteers. They're not paid, they are volunteers, and thank you, Beverly. Thank you to Kenneth Lind and David Little for co-chairing the weekend. Thank you to the Properties Department and the Special Events Department and the Gardens and Grounds Department and the Museum Affairs Department. We might get a call from somebody in the coaching club saying that there is a pothole on some street, and our staff goes out and fills that pothole. Right, Walter? So we could not do this spectacle every 3 years without all of you, of course, but this incredible group of people who have brought their horses here. I think there are 76 horses in town right now, Walter, is that correct? 70, 80 maybe? 11 coaches. If you don't know yet the routes, make sure you go to our website because all 3 days of travel are on the website so you can know where to stand. Really special event, and I hope you all appreciate it. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian Owens, who's the organizer of tonight's event. Brian is a very active member of the Coaching Club of America. He is a Newporter. He knows a lot about horses, and he knows a lot about coaching in general. I hope you hold up that book when you get your introduction finished, because he's just helped get an incredible book about coaching off the ground. And I thank you, Brian, very much, because Brian worked with our Museum Affairs staff to set up tonight's lecture. So thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Trudy. And thanks to all of you. I mean, this is an amazing turnout. I was just telling the panel, it's incredible. We have over 200 people in the audience, 150 on Zoom, I think. So coaching has never been more alive. And as Trudy said, this is the 150th anniversary of the Coaching Club. And this is hot off the press, folks. The new history of the Coaching Club is out. So we are going to share a lot of the images from the book with you tonight. So I'm going to get right into it because we don't have much time. We have a lot of activities starting this evening with parties and dinners and routes and meetings. So we're going to get right into it. So let's start with, on the far right, we have Walter Ayers, born and raised in New England in an equestrian family. He's been an avid polo player and carriage driver for over, is this right, 45 years, Walter? Okay. Initially with his father, Ted, and now with his wife, Amanda, and their 2 children, the Ayers, and their Blackburn farm team have participated in polo and driving events throughout the East Coast and Europe. And this year, this is your 10th weekend of coaching? Jesus.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, with your team of Argentine polo ponies.
I will say the first time I came, I was just a guest at the ball and said, what's all this carriage stuff? And here, fast forward, pretty
Excellent.
involved.
He's a 3rd-generation owner of a historic preservation firm, Blackburn Building Conservation, and with a resume including decorative arts projects at the Breakers and at Marble House here in Newport, as well as the Massachusetts State House and the Old South Meeting House in Boston. He's a member of the Coaching Club and has helped, we'll talk about this later, develop the roots and coordination with the Coaching Club and the Preservation Society. So please welcome Walter Ayers. Next up, we have Melissa Warner, and Melissa has been involved with horses from a very young age. She grew up in Canada and northern Vermont. She's worked and competed with Morgans, National Show Horses, Hackney Ponies, and Saddlebreds extensively in the New England area. She taught French for 7 years, but she decided to put all of her time into passion for carriage driving. She accepted a position in 1997 at the Austin Carriage Museum working for Gloria Austin. Some of you remember, Gloria used to drive with us before she died. She worked there as the equine manager and then a coachman until the spring of 2008. And during her time there, she was part of the Canadian team that competed in 1998 at the first single combined driving world championships. In 2008, she began working as the driving manager and coachman for Tucker Johnson. And her first event with the Johnsons was the Royal Windsor Horse Show, where they won the prestigious coaching marathon, being the first American coach to ever win. She was fortunate enough to be part of the U.S. four-in-hand driving team at the 2008 World Championships and at the 2010 World Equestrian Games in Kentucky. She continues to be active in pleasure driving and coaching for the Johnsons. She manages their entire family program of over 60 horses, including show jumpers, show hunters, fox hunting in both New Jersey and Florida. She also keeps the coaching club running very smoothly as our executive secretary. So please welcome Melissa Warner. Next up, we have Ms. D. Miller. She became interested in driving partly because of a piece of family history. 2 carriages she acquired that previously had belonged to her great-grandfather, William Wrigley, Jr. She's a world-renowned equestrian, media executive, and philanthropist, and is the owner and CEO of Wrigley Media Group. She leads a dynamic Kentucky-based company that creates and distributes globally recognized media content. She's a 4th-generation horsewoman, and she's carried on her family's storied legacy in the equine world, making history as the first woman to win gold in combined driving at the 2018 World Equestrian Games, and guiding her saddlebred division to an unprecedented sweep of World Grand Champion titles. I could be here all night listening to all your accolades, but she's also president of the World Coaching Club, and she and her husband, James, who you'll meet in a second, have been driving here at Newport since 2009, so please welcome Ms. D. Wrigley Miller. And Ms. D's husband, James, next to me. They're based in Sarasota, Florida, as a prominent equestrian and business leader with a deep passion for historical carriage and competitive driving. With 25 years of polo experience, James was inspired 15 years ago by his wife, Ms. D, and Tucker Johnson to master four-in-hand coaching. This led to him to excel in the modern sport of combined driving, where he represented the United States twice at the Pairs World Championships. He has presented coaches at the prestigious venues such as the Kentucky Horse Park, Devon Horse Show, Walnut Hill, with international highlights including presenting a coach to Queen Elizabeth at the Windsor Horse Show and driving with the British Coaching Club at Royal Ascot. This will make his 6th appearance in Newport. He's the current president of the coaching club, vice president of the coaching club, and he's also the owner of the Sarasota Polo Club. Additionally, he runs a small thoroughbred breeding operation in Paris, Kentucky. And so please welcome James Miller. Am I missing any other whips in the audience? Do I see anybody else? They were out driving earlier. Any other coaching? I see Justin Wiley. Is there a coaching club member? Justin, thank you for being. David Little, are you here, David? David is here, perfect. So thank you, guys. So what we're gonna do is, before we start talking about this year, I thought it'd be fun to run back in history and show some pictures from past coachings. And I don't know, Trudy, if you said, but it started back in 1968. The official Newport coaching weekend with the Preservation Society. So I thought we'd go right back to the first year. And I love this photo. All these photos now, as I said, are gonna be in our book. But this is Jack Seabrook, later on president of the coaching club, driving Venture. So this is Alfred Vanderbilt's coach out in front of Seafair there. Just fantastic. And to show you how much this event was covered in 1968, anybody want to guess where this photograph was published? Any guesses? Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated ran this, so yeah. And here we are right on Bellevue Avenue, right outside the International Tennis Hall of Fame. and that is Cecil Ferguson, who is a native Rhode Islander leading the team there. Walter, you knew some of the other whips there, correct?
Yes, this was the first year, as you mentioned. I think they were different. It was a CAA meeting, which is Carriage Association of America. And so they were, at this time, there were different turnouts. And there's a pair there, Caldwell. But there's also some family history. The Fairclough family was involved in that. We have John Fairclough's son, Jim Fairclough, who will be joining us this year. So like many pursuits, and horses are definitely this way, it's a family passion that gets often passed down. Although I guess just as many people who come in that way also say, look at their parents working and say, maybe I'll do something else. It's an incredible tradition, and I think these photos you're going to see, you just capture what we still do today. So that's the great thing about it, continuance.
And as I said, it started in 1968, but coaching in Newport has been going on since the early 1880s. And this is Theodore Havemeyer, one of the early members of the coaching club who joined the year after it was founded. And here he is at the Newport Country Club. And I was saying, I don't think he needed permission to bring his coach to the country club because he founded the club in 1893, and he was his first president until 1897. He actually founded the United States Golf Association, and later this week on Sunday, the U.S. Amateur will crown its champion, and the winner will receive the Havemeyer Trophy. So there you go.
You don't want to mention the other fact about Mr. Havemeyer?
What's that?
His demise?
How did he die, Walter?
Well, he was an avid coachman, and like many of us, he drove all year round. And on some of the coaching runs that would last for days and days, they would take many teams of horses, and he contracted a very bad case of pneumonia, I believe, or some awful disease from being basically exposed driving his horses, and that's actually what took him. But like many people, including my father, he didn't die on a horse, but he was playing polo into his last year of life, and I think that horsemen never die. They just keep going on a horse. And I don't want to do that anytime soon, and my wife would remind me, please stay on your horse during polo and driving, but it is part of the tradition that we just do it for lack of anything else. We love it, so you'll see it.
I'd ask Melissa, how do we rate his turnout here, Mr. Havemeyer?
Well, I would say that we aspire even today to match this level of excellence. It's perfect.
Wow.
Can you describe why it's perfect, Melissa?
Well, the horses, just from the picture, you can see they're standing, they're well behaved. The attendants, the grooms at the head of the leaders, the horses in the front, and the coachman who's on the ground next to the right wheeler, which are the two horses closest to the wheel of the coach, are in position for safety. The guests are focused on what's happening in front of them. The whip is looking forward. It's the horses are turned out beautifully. It's obviously for color. I can't tell if the brass is polished or not, but I can assume that it is. Yeah, it's a lovely example of what we try today to emulate.
I think it speaks to a really interesting part of this house, of Newport, of any late Victorian hobby, is the pursuit of excellence and the pursuit of turnout. And turnout is a word we use in horses all the time. And what it really means is perfection. And I think the Victorians did it to an extent that we in today's society can only ascribe to as far as how they dressed. I think the Gilded Age is a great example of how seriously this was taken. Every detail was thought through, and coaching is an epitome of exactly that. The way the horses look, the way the brass is polished, the way the teams are put together, it is all very engineered in a very careful manner, and I think that's what you'll see, and Trudy mentioned this, the pageantry of this is magical, and I think that's why we all, as whips, are thrilled to be here and to see all of the smiling faces who enjoy this and have enjoyed it for many years. Rhode Island is, I'm a Rhode Islander. I also have a lot of ties to Massachusetts, and I'm moving to Massachusetts to my dad's farm. But Rhode Island is a very traditional state. Our Navy history, lots of reasons, but coaching has been a tradition here for longer than really anywhere else. I mean, you think about New York had a heyday, and it was incredible, but it's gone, and it won't come back. Newport has been doing this since the foundation of this club in 1875, and it's an incredible legacy, and I think that we're all of us whips, and all of you here, I'm sure also, are just thrilled to inhabit this space and to make this a reality. I think it's a lot of work, as Beverly Little and myself can attest to. We have been literally on the phone for months trying to get everything to work out. The Preservation Society, all those here that are taking part in their fitness of their team. It's an incredible amount of work to get this off the ground. But at this point, we can all say we're happy to be here, and we're happy that you all are here enjoying it.
Well said. We'll flash forward to 2009. I love this photo. This is down at Hammersmith Farm, Lou Piancone driving Venture. With getting a little aid there. Looks like he's stuck. And that happens down at that part of Hammersmith Farm. It can be quite wet. So I thought I'd ask Misty or James, have you ever been stuck? Yes. And
It happens.
It happens.
We won't say what happens, but it happens.
And is this the only way to get out? Is there a better way, or just have your grooms start pushing?
If it takes a tractor, you're in bad shape. No, it's not uncommon for groomsmen and to help get the coach moving. In this particular case, I was there that day. As the coach sits on the turf, you can imagine it sinks in because the steel rims on those wheels are not very wide. They're certainly not rubber. So it will sink in, and you just get a little help to get out, but it can be bad.
Just as a side note, a coach weighs unloaded about 3,000 pounds. So you can imagine the amount of horsepower that's involved to move it, but also when it sinks in like that, think of the drag that's required to really push that. So whenever we have wet conditions, which this year we're not going to have, but we have a group of people who will help usually push every coach off because we all sink when we get to the ground like that. So.
Our next set of photos, I love this photo so much, I made it the inside cover of our book. This is William Staples, who's from Virginia. This is at the golf club, but it's just perfect. It's a perfect turnout. He's wearing the full evening dress of the club. We'll discuss it later. And on the right, that's Lou Piancone at the Breakers. And actually, I think that's 2009 because that's when the gates were off and they were being restored. But there's something about coaching photos that I could say it's 1809, and I think you'd agree with me. You'd say, oh, okay, sure. It's just perfect. The mist, Sarah Seaman took that, who will be with us this weekend. She's a fantastic